For our final segment this week, we're going to talk about the ladies. And for both of the tracks that we're going to discuss, it's going to be race number 11. We talked the boys and the Kentucky Derby points, Alexa, but the Kentucky Oaks points are also up for grabs this weekend, both at Fairgrounds and over at Turfway Park. And when we start at the Fairgrounds, we may be looking at the betting favorite for the Kentucky Oaks. She is undefeated right now. She is 5 for 5. She has literally done nothing wrong. I'm talking about good cheer for trainer Brad Cox, who most recently won the Grade 2 Rachel Alexandra. What has been so impressive to me, at least about her, not only that she's 5 for 5, she's winning, she really hasn't even been tested. Like she hasn't been challenged. I don't think we've even scratched the surface of what she could do, Alexa.
I know. I totally agree. I don't think there's any doubt that she's the best horse in this field. I'm having flashbacks to Torpedo Anna, who ended up being our horse of the year and also Oaks winner. So you never know what we're looking at here. If there's one horse who could maybe be a big threat, I think the 3 is really interesting. I have it at
Yes.
8-1. Also undefeated, but only out one time, so a lot less stock behind that. But it was at Fairgrounds, going short on the dirt. She wired the field that day. This race is much longer, so I think it's definitely a distance test. But she is by City of Light, whose progeny handles distance just fine, and she's also a half sister to the same dam of Vava, who did contend in the Breeders' Cup last year and has won close to $2 million. So definitely want to keep your eye on. And we're getting 8-1 odds. If she turns out to be a superstar, it might be the best odds you ever get on her.
I think that if you're trying to bet against good cheer, that's the horse you're looking at because she is such a wild card in here. She showed so much talent in her debut, did the number 3, Ahava. And in that debut, she was only going 6 furlongs. So she was sprinting. Now she'll have to go a mile and a 16th, much farther, but she's really fast early. You pointed out the pedigree that she has. She has a half sister who was
Oh my God.
awesome. She was one of the best, right? Like the best filly mare sprinters.
Realize her name is
right?
mixed up.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
So she has the bloodlines to be awesome. She has a really good trainer. Cherie DeVoe is like jumping up onto the main scene as one of the best trainers right now out there. So I think Ahava, very interesting. If you're trying to bet against good cheer, I think she's the one you're looking at. I'll give one more horse just a little mention. The number 5, Her Laugh. She won her first 2 starts, Alexa, and then she went and ran over at Tampa Bay Downs in the Suncoast, and she had a really bad start. And she just had no chance to win that race after the start. But she did run really well to finish second, and she came from way out of it. So she showed us a new dimension, and she showed us that if things don't go her way, she can still run well and hit the board and pick up pieces. So I do respect Her Laugh, but they're all going to have to step their game up if they want to be anything close to good cheer.
Absolutely.
So there's a quick look at race number 11. That's the Fairgrounds Oaks on Saturday at the Fairgrounds. Let's go to the other 11th race, this one at Turfway Park. This one is the Bourbonette Oaks. So again, when we bounce back over to Turfway, we remind you that they will be running on that synthetic surface. It's not dirt, it's not turf, it's that all-weather synthetic surface. And in this particular race, we have a big field, Alexa. I think towards the outside, one of the major players is White Rocks, who was very fast. She won the Cincinnati Trophy. That's the stepping stone race to this one. So usually the horses who win those local preps, you kind of have to start with them, see if they're good enough, see if the race will shape up for them. I think she's going to be one they probably all have to catch in here.
I agree, but I think this race is a lot more competitive than the Fairground Oaks is, and
Yep.
I'm going to try. I like White Rocks a lot, don't get me wrong, but I'm going to try to beat her. I think there's some value in here. I like the 3 Admit. This is a filly by Blame, who's been over the Tapeta 3 times and won 2 of them, gotten second in the other, and that second place finish was in the Cincinnati Trophy Stakes, where she was 1 1/4 length behind White Rocks, and then a 1 1/4 length in front of Something About Her. So those are both common opponents today. She was closing the gap that day and kind of ran out of time. So I think the extra 16th of a mile could really help this weekend. And then another
Reading in one of our DRF articles, the connections have said they want to try to be closer in this race early because they just don't want to let the same thing happen if the 11 gets loose out front and kind of slows things down.
Yeah, I mean, I love hearing that they have a plan. And then
Exactly.
the 5, Bless the Broken at 10-1,
Yep.
I think demonstrated her potential with a strong 3rd place effort, behind good cheer in the Rachel Alexandra Stakes. So I think being a stalker type, the surface switch to Tapeta could be seen as a positive. But she is cross-centered in Great
And
Lemon.
she is going to run in this race in the
Oh, good,
Bourbon at Oaks for
good,
sure. So she
good.
will run here, and I think she's a major player as well. The number 5, Bless the Broken. If you just look at the last 3 races she exits, all of the horses that beat her, they would probably be favored if they were in this same race. She's just faced really tough company. The 1, Resolve, kind of a fun horse from Southern California who's been forwardly placed, who can sit close, and then the 7, As Catch Can, I thought was another interesting horse because the trainer of that one, Jonathan Thomas, entered 2 horses in this race, but he's only going to send the 7. The number 12, Will Then, is actually going to stay and will likely be running in Southern California, was entered in a race on Sunday this weekend. So hopefully we were able to lead you in the right direction a couple times this week. It's a big week, Alexa. And over the next month or so, we are going to have some different shows. Our schedule is going to be a little different. We're going to be popping up on SportsGrid. You might see us on some Wednesdays, some Fridays, some Saturdays here and there. But the key is we're going to get you all ready for these big Kentucky Derby prep races and Kentucky Oaks prep races. Make sure to head to shop.drf.com anytime you're playing the races. And we'll see you again next week on the Weekend Preview.